There were nights I cried myself to sleep, not because I wasn't enough, but because I was made to believe I wasn't. And still, here I am. That's not a miracle, that's self-belief. You see, life, it doesn't wait for you to be ready. It doesn't hand you a blueprint. It throws you into chaos, into criticism, into comparison. And in those moments, when the world is loud and cruel, you have only one thing to hold on to: yourself. There will be times in life when the world doesn't applaud you. Times when no one sees your effort, no one understands your dreams, and no one stands up for you. In those moments, the temptation to doubt yourself will creep in like a shadow, silent and cold. You will question everything: your worth, your voice, your journey. But hear this and hear it loud. If you wait for someone else to choose you, you will be waiting forever. The most important decision you'll ever make is to choose yourself first. Choosing yourself doesn't mean arrogance. It means acknowledging your own power before anyone else does. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, I am worthy of this dream. I am worthy of this space. I am not asking for permission to exist. We live in a world that constantly tells us to earn love, to prove our value, to seek validation like it's currency. But self-worth is not a reward someone gives you. It is a right you claim. When I walked into rooms early in my career, I wasn't always the obvious choice. Sometimes I was too dark, too bold, too foreign, too outspoken. There were moments I was dismissed before I even opened my mouth, but I showed up anyway. I showed up with my head high and my heart full because I had made a decision. I would not let anyone else define my story. I chose myself, and I kept choosing myself every single day, even when it hurt, even when I was scared. Choosing yourself means showing up for your own dreams before anyone else claps for them. It means writing your own name down, putting yourself forward, applying for that opportunity, walking into that audition, saying yes even when your hands are shaking. It's easy to be confident when the world says you're beautiful or talented or successful. But real confidence is choosing yourself before the world agrees, before the applause, before the spotlight. That kind of belief, that's where greatness begins. There will always be people who don't see your potential. People who look at you and see only limits, but you don't owe your future to their understanding. You owe it to your inner voice, the one whispering that you are more than your circumstances, more than the opinions of others. Choosing yourself is an act of rebellion in a society built on comparison. It's refusing to let someone else's version of you become your truth. Sometimes choosing yourself looks like walking away from things that dim your light. A toxic job, a hollow friendship, an expectation that doesn't fit your soul. It's having the courage to say, this is not for me, even when it's all you've ever known. It's letting go of roles that shrink you, so you can step into the one that truly belongs to you. There is a quiet kind of magic that happens when you begin to back yourself. It's not loud, it's not boastful, it's a calm, unshakable knowing that you belong, that you matter, and that you are enough. The world starts to respond differently when you carry yourself with that kind of belief. Opportunities find you, people respect you, not because they've changed, but because you have. But don't expect the path to be easy. Choosing yourself is not a one-time thing. It is a daily decision. It is choosing to believe in your voice when it trembles. It is choosing to keep going when the door closes. It is choosing to be proud of your roots, your scars, your story. And most importantly, it is choosing not to apologize for who you are. No matter what you're facing, no matter how lost you feel, start with this one truth. You are worth choosing, again and again and again. Your dreams are valid. Your feelings are real, your effort matters. Don't wait for the world to tell you what you already know in your heart. When you choose yourself fully and fearlessly, you give others the permission to do the same. And that's how change begins, not out there but within. They told me talent is everything, that if you have the gift, the world will find you, that the stars will align and the path will magically unfold beneath your feet. But what they don't tell you, what they conveniently leave out, is that the world is filled with talented people who never got their shot, brilliant voices never heard, beautiful minds never seen, not because they weren't good enough, but because they didn't believe they were. The truth is hard but powerful. Talent means nothing without self-belief. You can be the most gifted person in the room, but if you walk in shrinking yourself, doubting your worth, guessing your every move, no one will see what you carry inside. The world doesn't just notice excellence. It notices certainty, confidence, conviction. It listens to the voice that speaks not with arrogance but with clarity, and that clarity comes only from self-belief. I've met people with voices that could move mountains, with ideas that could change the world, but they stay silent, they dim themselves, they hide behind what ifs, and maybe I'm not ready. And then I've seen others, maybe less skilled, maybe not perfect, but they walk in with their heads held high, with a fire in their eyes, and they claim the space like they belong. Guess who wins? Not always the best, but always the one who believes they are capable. It's not fair, I know, but life isn't fair. Life doesn't hand out success to the most talented. It hands it to the most relentless, to the ones who show up even when their hands are shaking, to the ones who keep going even when the door slams in their face, to the ones who say, I might not be the best, but I won't be invisible. Believing in yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation that everything else is built on, because when you believe in yourself, you fight harder, you take bigger risks, you recover faster from failure. You don't wait for someone else to choose you. You choose yourself, and that belief, it multiplies, it becomes a force, it becomes a magnet for opportunity. There's something undeniable about a person who walks into a room and owns their space, not because they're flawless, but because they are grounded in who they are. You feel it, you see it, you want to know more. That energy, that self-belief, it's not something you're born with, it's something you build brick by brick, battle by battle. I wasn't always the most talented. I was told no more times than I can count. I was told I wasn't the right fit, the right look, the right voice, but I had one thing that kept me going. I believed that I was more than the boxes they put me in. I believed that I had something to say. I believed that I had every right to be in the room, even if I had to claw my way in. And that belief, that stubborn, burning belief, is why I'm here. Self-belief is not pretending you're perfect. It's knowing you're not and choosing to show up anyway. It's acknowledging your flaws and still betting on yourself. It's choosing action over fear, voice over silence, progress over perfection. Because talent might open a door, but self-belief is what keeps you walking through it, even when the hallway gets dark. Some of the most successful people you admire were not the most talented. They were the most determined, the most resilient, the ones who refused to be ignored. That's the magic of self-belief. It doesn't make you invincible. It makes you unbreakable. It gives you the courage to stand up after every fall, to learn after every mistake, to grow through every rejection. Don't wait for someone else to recognize your talent before you act. Don't wait for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of yourself. If you have something inside you, a dream, a fire, a voice, start. Move, dare, because the ones who make it are not the ones who are always the best. They're the ones who believe, deep in their bones, that they belong. Rejection is not the end, it's the beginning of a different story. One you never planned for, but one you were meant to live. When the door slams shut, it feels personal, it feels brutal. You start to question your worth, your purpose, your very identity. I've felt that sting. I've cried in hotel bathrooms after auditions. I've walked out of meetings knowing they had already decided against me the moment I walked in. And for a long time, I thought rejection meant I wasn't good enough. But I was wrong. Rejection wasn't the end of my path. It was a redirection toward a bigger one. Every time I was told no, something inside me whispered, not this, but not never, and that whisper became my guide. That whisper became my fire, because rejection doesn't say you're not worthy. It simply says not here, not now, not this way. And if you have the courage to keep going, if you have the belief that your journey is still unfolding, then rejection becomes a divine detour. It pushes you, it shapes you, it prepares you for a moment that's not just right. It's yours. The truth is, the most painful rejections often carry the most powerful redirections. Think about it, that job you didn't get, It freed you up for the opportunity you never saw coming. That person who walked away, they made space for someone who sees you, hears you, chooses you. That moment you thought was a failure, it lit the fire under you to rise even stronger. But the magic only happens if you stay open, if you don't let bitterness take root where growth could happen. It's easy to let rejection harden you, to let it make you small, to build walls so you won't get hurt again. But that's not strength, that's fear in disguise. Real strength is choosing to stay soft, choosing to stay open, choosing to trust the process even when it's breaking your heart. Because when you trust the redirection, you realize that life was never denying you, it was guiding you. I didn't end up where I thought I would. I didn't follow a straight line. I didn't become who I am today because everything went according to plan. I became who I am because of the detours, because of the moments that crushed me. The ones that humbled me, the ones that forced me to ask, what now? And in answering that question, I found new paths, new purpose, new strength. Rejection didn't ruin me, it revealed me. You have to let go of the idea that rejection is a reflection of your worth. It's not, it's a reflection of alignment, of timing, of fit. And most of the time, it has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with where you're meant to be. When someone says you're not right, let it be a blessing. Because you don't want to belong somewhere you have to force your way into. You want to be where your presence is not just accepted, but celebrated. The greatest thing you can do after rejection is keep moving. Don't get stuck replaying the pain. Don't wait for someone to change their mind. Move, try again, try differently, show up again with more clarity, more courage, more you, because every rejection refines you. It teaches you, it burns away the layers that don't serve you and brings you closer to the version of yourself that you're meant to be. We romanticize success, we love the spotlight, but behind every success story is a trail of heartbreaks. The difference between those who make it and those who don't, it's not luck, it's not talent, it's the refusal to give up in the face of rejection. It's the willingness to hear no 100 times and still believe in the yes that's coming. It's the audacity to see a closed door and build a new one. You are not defined by the people who walk away. You are not measured by the opportunities you didn't get. You are shaped by what you do next. By the choice to rise again, to believe again, to chase again, not despite the rejection, but because of it. From the moment we take our first steps, the world starts drawing lines around us. This is how a girl should speak. This is what a boy should want. This is success. This is failure. This is beautiful. This is not. And we grow up trying to squeeze ourselves into molds we never asked for, never agreed to, and never felt at home in. We silence parts of ourselves to be accepted. We edit our personalities, shrink our dreams, straighten our spines, and dull our colors just to fit in. But you weren't born to fit someone else's definition of enough. You were born to break the mold. There is nothing powerful about playing small. There is no glory in erasing yourself so others can feel more comfortable. You don't owe the world a version of you that makes sense to them. You don't have to follow the script that's been handed down to you like some kind of rulebook for your identity. That script wasn't written with your fire, your hunger, your voice in mind. Tear it up. Rewrite it, burn it if you must, but do not live your life in someone else's lines. I've been told how to speak, how to smile, how to dress, how to carry myself. I've had people tell me what roles I should take, what dreams I should shelve, what limits I should accept. And every single time, I felt the weight of that mold pressing down on me like stone, but the fire inside me, the one that's wild and raw and defiant, refused to stay quiet. I realized that fitting in was not strength. Fitting in was survival, and I didn't come this far just to survive. I came to live, to lead, to be seen. When you try to fit a mold, you lose the very thing that makes you extraordinary, your difference. And that difference, that's your magic, that's your superpower, the curve in your voice, the pain in your story, the way you see the world when no one else does. That's what makes you unforgettable, not your ability to conform, but your refusal to. The world doesn't remember the ones who blended in. It remembers the ones who dared to be loud, to be bold, to be unapologetically themselves. People will always try to put you in a box because boxes are easy to label, easy to understand, but you are not here to be understood. You are here to be felt, to be experienced, to be a force that makes people uncomfortable, that challenges norms, that flips the table and says, "This seat doesn't fit me, so I'll build my own." You don't have to be what they expect. You don't have to explain your ambition, your dreams, your chaos. You just have to be real. Breaking the mold is not about being rebellious for the sake of it. It's about listening to your gut when it tells you this path isn't yours. It's about choosing the harder road because it aligns with your soul. It's about having the courage to say, "I know what I'm capable of," even if you don't. It's about not settling for less just because less is easier. It's knowing that growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you step into the unknown, into your fear, into your truth. There will be moments when you're tempted to go back, to shrink, to make yourself smaller so you can belong. Don't. Those who ask you to be less were never meant to hold your greatness. Those who love you will never ask you to dim. They will rise with you. They will grow beside you. They will celebrate the cracks in your mold because they know that's where your light breaks through. Every time you choose to break free from the mold, when you say no to the roles that don't honor you, when you speak up in a room that expected your silence, when you stand tall in your difference, you give someone else permission to do the same. You become a mirror, a map, a movement. You become the proof that it's not only possible to live outside the mold, it's powerful. You are not too much. You are not too loud, too quiet, too bold, too soft, too ambitious, too sensitive. You are not lacking. You are not behind. You are not broken. And you don't need to become someone else to matter. You don't need to earn your place in this world by changing who you are. The simple, raw, breathtaking truth is, you are enough as you are. But I know how hard it is to believe that. I know how loud the world can be when it constantly tells you to do more, be more, fix more. From the moment we're young, we're fed this idea that we're always one step away from being truly worthy. Lose the weight, speak differently, act more feminine or more masculine or less emotional, be a little less. We get so used to chasing some future version of ourselves, some filtered fantasy of perfection, that we forget how to look in the mirror and simply say, "I am okay. I am whole, I am enough." And let me tell you something no one said to me when I needed to hear it. You don't have to earn your worth. You were born with it. You don't have to be thinner, richer, more popular, more polished, more anything to be deserving of love, success, respect, or peace. Your value isn't in what you produce. It's not in how many likes you get or how many boxes you check. It's in your heart, your fire, your truth. There were moments in my life where I tried to fit in so badly, I forgot who I was. I toned myself down, covered parts of myself, hid my opinions, smiled when I wanted to scream, just to be accepted, just to feel like maybe I was enough for them. But no matter how much I gave away, it was never enough. Because the truth is, when you seek validation from people who don't see you, you will always feel like you're failing. So I stopped trying to impress. I started trying to accept, to sit with the uncomfortable idea that maybe I wasn't perfect, but maybe perfection was never the goal. Maybe showing up with my whole heart, messy, real, and unfiltered, was brave enough. Maybe I didn't have to be everything to everyone. Maybe I could just be me. And that would be more than enough for the people who truly mattered. I want you to understand something deep in your bones. There is no one like you, no one with your exact voice, your exact story, your exact soul. That is not a flaw, that is your power. That is what makes you irreplaceable. Stop waiting to be chosen. Stop waiting for the perfect moment when you'll feel ready, polished, complete. Start now, as you are, with all your doubts, with all your scars, with all your passion. Because the world needs you as you are. When you realize you are enough, you stop playing small. You stop settling for people who don't value you. You stop begging for crumbs of approval and start demanding the full damn seat at the table. And if that table doesn't have room for you, You build your own, you stop shrinking, and you start shining, not because you've become someone else, but because you've finally embraced who you've always been. And yes, you will still have moments where you doubt yourself, where the world gets loud again and you feel that pull to fix, to change, to chase. But in those moments, I want you to breathe and remember, you are not behind. You are not broken, you are not missing anything. You are a whole, breathing, powerful soul, and you are enough, not in the future, not when you achieve more, not when you finally feel ready, right now. In this moment, as you are, life doesn't hand success to the most privileged. It doesn't always favor the lucky or the well-connected. Life responds to something deeper, something fiercer, relentlessness. The quiet, burning fire in someone who refuses to give up, no matter how hard the road gets. The truth is, your circumstances might not be fair. You might be carrying more than most. You might have been underestimated, ignored, pushed aside. But that does not get to define you. What defines you is what you do next, how you rise, how you fight, how you keep showing up even when the odds aren't in your favor. I've seen people with everything, every opportunity, every connection, waste it all because they didn't have the heart to keep going when it got tough. And I've seen others who had nothing but grit and belief break through barriers no one thought they could. That's the power of relentlessness. When you are relentless, you stop waiting for the perfect conditions. You stop making excuses. You stop asking for permission. You find a way or you build one. The world will throw curveballs. It will test you. It will knock you down when you least expect it. But every time you get back up, you prove to yourself that your spirit is bigger than your situation, that your hunger is louder than your fear, that your desire to grow is stronger than your pain. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how deeply you commit to the fight. You can choose to stay in the arena long after others walk away. I faced doors that slammed in my face not because I wasn't talented, but because someone decided I didn't look the part. I've walked into rooms where I wasn't expected to speak, only to take the microphone and own the moment. And I didn't do it because I had everything figured out. I did it because I was relentless in my belief that I deserved to try, that I had the right to take up space, that I wouldn't let anyone else write my story for me. Relentlessness is not about never feeling tired. It's not about pretending you're unbreakable. It's about feeling the weight of it all and choosing to move forward anyway. It's about getting out of bed when your heart is heavy. It's about sending the email, making the call, rehearsing again, pushing through rejection after rejection, and still saying, I'm not done. Because deep down, you know the only way to truly lose is to stop trying. And don't be fooled, being relentless isn't loud. It's not always a dramatic declaration. Sometimes it's quiet. It's in the small, consistent choices. It's in the moments where no one's watching. It's waking up early to chase a dream no one else believes in yet. It's saying yes to yourself every single day, even when the world tells you no. That is the kind of strength that builds empires. That is the kind of resilience that shatters ceilings. Your circumstances may try to convince you that you're stuck, that your background, your past, your pain are anchors, but they're not. They're part of your journey, not the limit of it. They don't get to dictate how far you'll go, because when you decide to be relentless, you stop seeing obstacles as roadblocks. You see them as training, as fuel, as proof that you are being prepared for something greater, and you will get tired. You will have moments of doubt, of silence, of loneliness. That's normal, but don't let that stop you. Take a breath. Rest if you need to. Cry if you must, but then wipe your face, stand tall and keep going, because your relentlessness has power, your fight has meaning, your story is not over yet, and no circumstance, no matter how heavy, can silence someone who refuses to back down. You don't need perfect timing, you don't need the stars to align, you need heart, you need consistency, you need the fire to rise one more time than you fall. And if you carry that with you, if you keep walking through every storm with your head held high, you'll realize that life isn't about waiting for things to get easier. It's about becoming stronger than anything that tries to stop you. So when the noise gets too loud, when the world gets too heavy, close your eyes, breathe, and remind yourself, you are enough. Not when you get the degree, not when you land the role, not when they finally clap, but right now, as you are. Success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most relentless, to the ones who dare to believe they can, even when everything says they can't. So dream with your eyes open. Walk into rooms like you own them. Speak like you matter, because you do. And when you look in the mirror, see not your flaws but your fire. That fire is your power, because remember, success begins with self-belief, and self-belief begins with you.